The warning the twin suns of Yalara 7 burned low on the horizon, casting elongated shadows across the spire-like forests of crystalline trees. The wind hummed through the fractal branches, producing a haunting, ethereal sound that seemed almost alive. Among the twisting trunks, a human named Jace Rowan crouched, wiping sweat from his brow. His hands were streaked with grime from working on an ancient alien relay tower, its jagged edges glowing faintly with residual energy. Jace was not a soldier, though his lean, scarred body suggested he had been one. He was a mechanic, a fixer of things no one else could repair. But today, he was something else entirely. A messenger. Across the canyon, a fleet of alien ships hovered, their metallic hulls reflecting the fading sunlight like predators stalking prey. These were the Shakori, a species feared across half. The spiral arm for their unyielding expansion and brutal efficiency. Their leader, Overseer Tal Rak, had been warned. And humans always warn. Jace exhaled and activated the comlink. The message had been simple, almost pleading in its urgency. Turn back. This world is not yours to claim. We will resist. He remembered the last human colony that had ignored such warnings. They hadn't survived the week. A shadow moved. Beside him, Liron, a Jakori scientist who had defected to aid humanity, stepped forward. Her bioluminescent markings pulsed nervously. "They'll see it as weakness," she said. Her voice was melodic, almost musical, but threaded with tension. Humans always threaten, but rarely do they follow through immediately. They don't expect the patience or the cunning. Jace's jaw tightened. They'll learn the hard way. The first ships descended into the atmosphere, massive enough to blot out the suns. Their engines screamed like a chorus of angered beasts shaking the ground beneath them. Villagers, who had fled to the caves below, peeked nervously from behind crystalline formations. The humans' warning had not deterred the Shakori. They had scoffed at it. Suddenly, the skies tore. With light. From within the clouds, human drones darted like swarming predators. They moved in patterns so precise that even the Jacoria sensors struggled to track them. Jace pressed a hand to his cum, whispering, "It's begun." A cannon volley erupted from one of the largest ships. Energy blasts sizzled through the sky, scorching the treetops. But the drones were gone, disappearing into the folds of the forest, only to reappear behind the fleet. Liron's eyes widened. They're predicting our every move. How? Jace didn't answer. He only grinned, a grim expression of both fear and exhilaration. Humans had learned to adapt to every battlefield, every threat. Today, the Jakori would learn the same. But as the first hull of the flagship shimmered under a concentrated strike, a deep, ominous voice echoed. From the fleet. Tal Rak himself was observing, a presence so commanding it seemed to bend reality. "Humans, you dare interfere?" Jace tightened his grip on his plasma tool, which now hummed like a weapon. "We warned you." Tal Rak's ship glowed with sudden energy. A massive beam shot toward the human forces, forcing them to scatter. The forest lit with searing light, and screams of both humans and aliens echoed. And then the cliffhanger. Jace froze. From the clouds above, something far larger than Tal Rak's fleet began to descend. Something ancient. Something that even Liron had never seen before. The hidden arsenal. Jace sprinted through the crystalline forest, weaving between glowing trunks as the ground trembled beneath another energy strike. Liron was at his side, her elongated limbs moving with inhuman grace. "Where are you taking me?" she demanded. "To the Ark," Jace shouted over the roar of the sky. The Ark wasn't a ship. It was a planet-carved fortress buried beneath. Yalara 7's surface, built over decades in secret by human engineers and alien allies. It contained weapons, defenses, and knowledge the Jiukori could never imagine. They reached a jagged cliff that sloped down into a canyon filled with glowing rivers of liquid crystal. Jace pressed a panel hidden among the rock. The cliff split, open like a wound, revealing a lift platform. It descended, carrying them into darkness. Inside, the ark's walls pulsed with kinetic energy. Panels and screens lit up as Jace passed, ancient technology syncing with his presence. "This is human ingenuity?" Liren whispered, awestruck. "I've never seen this level of adaptation or secrecy." "You'll see more soon," Jace replied, tapping a console. "The Yaikori think humans are primitive. They think they can overwhelm us with numbers. But they forget." He trailed off, letting the hum of the ark fill the silenced dot as the lift reached the deepest level. Jace activated a hidden armory. Robots hummed to life, and energy weapons glowed along racks. Modular drones unfolded like metal flowers. And then the humans themselves appeared, wearing adaptive armor that shimmered with defensive shields. Liren's eyes widened. They've prepared for everything. Suddenly, alarms blared. Sensors detected movement. A stealth fleet had penetrated the atmosphere and was heading straight for the ark. Jace's heart sank. They didn't just ignore our warning. They're escalating. A tactical hologram projected Talrek's fleet. It was massive, but uneven. "They've split their forces," Jace said. "They think they can take us from multiple directions. That's a mistake." Before Liren could ask why, the floor shook violently. An alien battalion had breached the lower defenses. From hidden tunnels, Shakori soldiers emerged, their energy lances humming. Humans engaged them instantly, displaying not only skill, but ingenuity-rigged energy traps sent alien soldiers tumbling into containment fields. But in the midst of battle, Jace noticed something alarming. A signal pulse, far deeper than the hill. Ark, something ancient, something buried beneath the planet itself, was activating. "Liren," he muttered, "whatever that is, it's not human." A low rumble shook the ark. The ceiling cracked, revealing a cascade of energy flowing upward from below. The alien forces paused, their instincts screaming danger. Even Talrek's attention seemed divided. And then the cliffhanger. From the planet's core, a figure rose, not human, not Shakori. Something older, smarter, and terrifyingly aware. Its eyes, or what could be called eyes, focused on Jace and the ark. The Ancient Awakening. The figure was enormous. A being of living crystal and bioenergy, ancient enough that legends had forgotten its name. Its voice, though silent, reverberated directly in minds. "Why have you awakened me?" Jace swallowed hard. "We didn't. We weren't. You disturbed the equilibrium. All life here will be judged." Liren's pulse raced. "It's the guardian of Yalara 7. It hasn't spoken in centuries." Jace's mind raced. He had dealt with impossible odds before, but negotiating with a planet-sized consciousness was new. "We warned the invaders. They ignored it. They came to conquer. We don't want destruction. We want survival." The Guardian paused, analyzing, energy pulsing through the cavern. "And the humans? You are willing to fight for others, not just yourselves?" Jace's hands tightened on his plasma tool. "Every time. We fight, we adapt, we protect. That's who we are." The Guardian's energy flared, revealing glimpses of past battles across millennia. Civilizations that had tried to exploit the Yalara 7 were erased in moments of judgment. The Jiakori fleet froze mid-attack, sensing the shift in power. Human ingenuity, compassion, adaptability. "Rare," the Guardian murmured. "I will test you. Only then can the planet's defense align with your cause." Before Jace could react, the ground beneath them split open, plunging him, Liren, and a contingent of humans into an abyss filled with glowing liquid energy. The Ark's defenses went offline above. Jace gritted his teeth. If this is a test, I'll pass it, even if it kills me. The cliffhanger. As they fell deeper, shadows of creatures far more intelligent than the Jacori emerged from the quarries. Energy currents, circling them like predators. Asterisk trials in the abyss. Jace plummeted through the glowing abyss, his muscles straining as the energy currents tugged at him like invisible chains. Liren was beside him, her bioluminescent markings flaring with panic. "Hold on," she shouted, grasping his arm with her elongated fingers. The humans and aliens fell deeper, past walls of pulsating energy that seemed almost alive. Shapes emerged from the current's gigantic serpentine creatures, with eyes that reflected centuries of intelligence. They circled the group, observing, testing, but not attacking. Yet, Jace gritted his teeth. "This is a test," he muttered. "We survive, we adapt, we protect." One of the serpentine beings lunged suddenly. Liren shrieked, and instinctively, Jace activated a kinetic shield on his suit. The creature slammed into the barrier, letting out a shrill, resonating wail that vibrated in their chests. The energy currents rippled with the impact, threatening to throw them off course. "Remember what I said," Jace yelled. "This is about strategy, not brute force. Move with purpose." The group navigated the currents with cautious precision. Jace realized that each twist and pull in the energy wasn't random. It was designed to test their coordination, intelligence, and ability to trust each other. The Guardian was not merely observing. It was orchestrating a challenge. Asterisk. Suddenly, a massive fissure opened beneath them, and they plummeted even further. When they landed, the floor beneath their feet was solid, composed of an unknown crystalline substance that hummed with energy. The creatures had vanished, leaving. Only silence. Liren's voice trembled. "We made it, but why? Why are we here?" Jace scanned the area. The crystal floor reflected images from the past battles humans had fought, planets they had defended, countless acts of compassion and courage. The Guardian's challenge wasn't physical alone, it was moral. It sought proof that humans fought not for domination, but for preservation. A sudden tremor shook the cavern. From the shadows emerged a figure, a human but unlike any they had seen. Its armor was ancient, its eyes glowing with energy. "Who dares enter the Guardian's trial?" it demanded. Jace stepped forward. "I am Jace Rowan. We come to protect this world and its people from the invaders above." The figure tilted its head, analyzing. "Words are easy. Action is everything. Survive what comes next, and the Guardian may deem you worthy." Before they could respond, the cavern shuddered violently. From the walls, energy tendrils erupted, moving like serpents, lashing at them. Humans and aliens alike fought to evade, using shields, agility, and sheer instinct. Jace felt a surge of determination. He activated a makeshift gravity field with his wrist console, anchoring the group against the tendrils. Liren used her knowledge of alien biology to predict their movements, guiding others with precision. Together, they countered, adapted, and survived. As the last tendril fell back into the crystalline wall, the figure approached. "You survived by thinking, not fighting blindly. You are promising." Suddenly, the entire floor shifted, opening into a vertical shaft that led even deeper, toward a core glowing with unimaginable energy. The Guardian's voice resonated. "The final judgment awaits. Do you stand with the planet or with the invaders?" Jace swallowed. "We stand for life, always." The human gambit. The colossal warship slammed into the crystal shaft, shaking the cavern violently. Humans and aliens scattered, narrowly avoiding shards of glowing crystal that rained like deadly rain. Liren's eyes widened. How did they? No defenses should have allowed this. Jace clenched his fists. They underestimated us. That's all. He sprinted toward the warship's point of impact. With a surge of energy, he activated the Ark's auxiliary drones. They unfolded into swarms of mechanical birds, diving into the warship's engines, dismantling its systems piece by piece. Above ground, Talrock's fleet had paused mid-attack, sensing the disruption below. Even the Ja'Couri couldn't comprehend the humans' resourcefulness. From the ship's bridge, Talrock hissed, "They manipulate the planet itself." Impossible. Jace communicated with the drones, sending them to sever energy conduits, overload core systems, and scramble the ship's navigation. Each move was calculated, precise, and entirely human. Ingenuity had become their weapon. Meanwhile, Liran discovered a hidden console embedded in the crystal floor, likely left by the Guardian itself. Jace, this could amplify our defenses. If we synchronize it with the Ark, we could control the entire cavern. Jace grinned. Do it. Trust me, we've got one shot at this. Energy surged through the Ark and into the cavern, forming shields, defensive turrets, and gravitational traps. The Ja'Couri warship faltered, caught in a web of human-engineered ingenuity. But Talrock wasn't finished. From above, a swarm of strike fighters descended into the planet's atmosphere, intent on overwhelming the defenses. Jace's grin faltered. They're testing us to the limit. We can't just defend. We have to turn this into a counterattack. He activated the Ark's primary weapon, a massive energy cannon, designed not to destroy, but to disable. As the beam fired, it struck the warship with surgical precision, ripping its engines apart and sending it crashing into the cavern wall. Talrock's roar echoed across the battlefield. Humans, how can such weakness wield power like this? The cliffhanger. From the shadows of the crashing ship, Talrock emerged, personally descending into the cavern. His armor gleamed with energy. So, you've made a mistake. Fighting me directly will cost you everything. Part 6. Trust beyond Specious. Jace faced Talrock, plasma tool in hand, sweat dripping from his brow. Liran stood beside him, her pulse racing. Humans and alien allies flanked them, ready for a desperate fight. But Jace didn't attack immediately. Instead, he spoke. Talrock, you've ignored our warnings. You've invaded without reason. Look around you. What do you gain from this? Death? Destruction? Talrock hissed, energy crackling across his armor. You dare lecture me? I command fleets, empires. Command doesn't mean wisdom, Jace replied. You've underestimated the humans and the allies who chose life over conquest. Liran stepped forward. We know fear, Talrock. We know strategy. But humans, we fight not for domination, but for survival and compassion. That's why we are united across species, across differences. Talrock paused, anger flickering with uncertainty. Humans had something he could not calculate. Unpredictability born of empathy. Suddenly, the Guardian's energy enveloped them, illuminating Talrock's form. Judgment is near, it echoed. Will you adapt or perish? Talrock snarled and charged. Jace and Liran moved in sync, evading his energy blasts, using the environment and drones to redirect attacks. Humans and allies worked as a seamless unit, demonstrating not brute force, but precision, trust, and ingenuity. JACE activated the energy conduit, creating a gravitational trap. Talrock was caught, suspended mid-air. The Guardian's voice resonated. Your arrogance blinds you, Talrock, but humans, you have proven worth. Talrock seethed, but for the first time, he felt fear. The humans' courage, their compassion, and their ingenuity had forged a barrier he could not break. Asterisk, consequences, and hope. The explosion rocked the cavern, throwing humans and aliens alike to the ground. Smoke and debris filled the air, but the Ark remained intact, its shields absorbing most of the blast. Jace coughed, helping Liran to her feet. The Guardian's energy swirled, stabilizing the cavern. Talrock, your choice defines the outcome. Will you leave or face extinction? Talrock struggled to rise, looking at the humans around him, not as enemies, but as a force beyond his understanding. Slowly, he deactivated his weapon and signaled retreat. The remaining Jokori fleet paused, then began a systematic withdrawal. Jace exhaled, exhaustion and relief washing over him. Liran smiled faintly. You warned them, and they ignored it. But humanity's patience, ingenuity, and compassion, it saved this world. The Guardian's voice softened. Humans, you have proven your worth. Yalara 7 shall stand, not as a prize, but as a testament to your resilience. Jace looked toward the crystalline horizon, where the twin suns set in radiant glory. We did more than survive, he said. We reminded them, and ourselves, why humans fight, not for conquest, but for life. Liran nodded. And the bond we formed between species is stronger than any fleet. As the Ark's energy slowly dimmed, the Guardian receded, back into the planet, leaving behind a glowing beacon of hope. Talrock's fleet had retreated, but the lesson was clear. Humanity's ingenuity, compassion, and adaptability could change the course of galactic history. Asterisk.